What's up, guys? Welcome to this video here on Elvis is the Man. So, this story takes place in the middle of May 1957. Elvis is working on his third movie, Jailhouse Rock. Now, an interesting thing happens when he's on the set here. It was during the dance scene that Elvis lost his cap on one of his teeth. And the dance scene was where he was sliding down the pole. And when he got off the pole, he obviously this is an outtake. And he went up to the assistant director on the set and was like, "Hey, I think I swallowed a cap on my tooth." And I guess nothing was done of it that day. And he went on filming and recording. Just on a side note, before we get into the rest of this, I've heard of that Elvis had caps on his teeth, but I never actually came across my learning or, reading on Elvis or anything that he had them like put on at any particular time. The only time, because from 1954 to 1977, his teeth look pretty natural. They've never changed. But I've noticed on some of the publicity photos for Jailhouse Rock, one of them I actually got when I was 7 years old. It's still one of my favorite pictures. It was a glossy 8x10. I noticed that his teeth looked a little different than usual. They were like perfectly straight. You notice the two teeth to the left and right of his front teeth, they're down level with his front two teeth. And we know that Elvis's teeth weren't that shape, originally weren't that shape. So I originally thought that, maybe the photographers, when they were editing it, they kind of brought them down a little bit and made it look a little more even. Because Elvis's teeth had some personality to them. But, they're always, pretty great. A dentist's dream. $1 Million Smile. Anyway, I've noticed that they were a little different in these publicity photos. So it's been a while since I watched Jailhouse Rock. And I searched through the movie a little bit, and I did find a few scenes where, it shows that it looked like he did have some caps on in this movie. But it was a little hard to tell because, he had to play this hard rebel and he couldn't smile too much. But back to the story. The next morning on set, Elvis is complaining of severe chest pain on his right side, like severe, people thinking probably heart attack, what's going on? So, Elvis was probably thinking about his cap that he felt he swallowed. So he goes to Cedars of Lebanon, which is a hospital in Hollywood. And the doctors there take x-rays of his chest. And come to find out, Elvis has that cap in his right lung, lodged in there. So they had no other choice. They had to put Elvis under anesthesia. Yeah, this is during the movie Jailhouse Rock. The procedure that was done was a bronchoscope, I believe it's pronounced. And it was like this narrow tubular little tool that they put down his windpipe to extract it from his lung. And actually what happened was it actually broke into two pieces. So it had to be done twice. Pull it out one time, pull it out the second time. The doctor gave him 2 days rest and told him he should be going back to work the third day. And so May 17th, Elvis is seen here. He's released from the hospital, and these photos are in black and white, but the undershirt there was actually a blue silk shirt, and he was wearing a red jacket on his way to his limo awaiting him, surrounded by nurses, as you can see. Now, the story goes that when the colonel found out that they actually had to move Elvis's vocal cords to get down to his lung, he had a fit. Like, how could you have done that? But, there was no other way to do it. No incision was made. They just went down there. But he was freaking out that, Elvis's voice could have been damaged in any way because they had to move his vocal cords to get down there. So this topic breeds some more questions, which I know are going to be, posed in the comment section down below. What about the other Elvis plastic surgeries, cosmetic stuff that he have done in his lifetime? These are the ones that I know about. The biggest one, the one that's probably the most popular, is in 1956. Elvis had the bridge of his nose made a little thinner. He would always complain, or maybe he was just a little more self-conscious actually, that the bridge of his nose between his two eyebrows were too wide. So in 1956, he had Dr. Murray Parks in California work on that, and he made it a little thinner. And you can tell from some of these before and after pictures that there was definitely a difference made, like in 54, 55, 53. You could tell that his nose was a little wider, and then it got a little slimmer after that. And also, according to Joe Esposito, when Elvis was in the Army, overseas, he had worked on his nose, and this time it was like a little more complete, more of a complete nose job, or rhinoplasty. And you could definitely tell that when he came home in March 1960 and sat in Vernon's office doing those interviews to the reporters, one thing, he was a lot leaner. He was much skinnier. But another thing is his nose was sharp. Like, it was as thin as I've ever seen it, and it stayed that way till the end. Although Sonny West does make a comment saying that Elvis had a little reshaping done to his nose in the 1960s, somewhere in there. I don't know about that, but he does say that. Now, another big surgery Elvis had was in June 1975. He had a basic eye lift, eye surgery, and it was in Memphis. He had a Memphis doctor do it. I guess, Elvis, he was 40. He was a little more self-conscious. About the magazine Elvis, depressed and overweight at 40, I believe it was, by People magazine. Elvis was getting self-conscious. He was putting on a little more weight. It was hard for him to take it off. His crash diets weren't working. It really wasn't working because he was gaining too much weight and not taking a long enough time to lose the weight. He'd just go on a quick, maybe 1 week or a 3-day fast, 2-day fast before the tour and think it would knock it out, but it wouldn't. So Elvis had eye lift surgery in 1975. And a lot of everybody told him he didn't need it, but Elvis thought he looked way better afterwards. And I remember the Memphis Mafia guy saying, "Yeah, Elvis, you look better," but them thinking that no, I don't see any difference. But a few people did say that it took away some of the sleepiness in Elvis's eyes. And when I would watch the 77 CBS special, it did look like his eyes were pulled up a little bit, but that could just be me. But I definitely think it changed a little. But that's it for this video, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. A little bit of Elvis history and some Elvis facts for you that not everybody knows. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button. It helps to grow and expand the channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. And also in the description of this video, I have a link to Patreon, which I put things on there, like certain edits. And right now I'm doing the Destined to Die Young book, chapter by chapter, taking you through it. Things that I can't necessarily or won't necessarily put on YouTube, I have on Patreon. Also, my Bible page and fitness page. If you're into any of those two subjects, check them out and hit the links below. We'll talk to you guys next time.